Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red this Friday morning. A little bit of a nip in the air today, so stay warm. Matthew chapter 18, verse 12. Jesus takes us into a story, really a conundrum, and he invites us to ask ourselves the question as it relates to what do we think? Or in this case, talking to the disciples, he asks them to think. And that's an important thing to do. Think. Some people never think, but it's important to think, and Jesus invites us to think. So in verse 12, we read these words. What do you think? If any man has 100 sheep, and the one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountain and go and search for the one that is straying? So he creates this scenario. He says, here's this scenario, this story. As a shepherd, he's got 100 sheep and one of the sheep goes astray. He's on the mountain and he decides to leave the 99 to look for the one. So he asks the disciples, what do you think? Is that what the shepherd does? And the truth is, we have to ask ourselves the question, well, is that what the shepherd does? And the reality of that is, well, no. Because why would you leave 99 to risk them from being attacked by danger just to save the one? And yet Jesus here in this story presents this consideration for them to think about in such a way that he kind of leads us into thinking, well, yeah, why wouldn't the shepherd go and look for the one and leave the 99? And that is really a good question. Why would he? Is what I would be saying. But Jesus is saying, why wouldn't he? And the reality of our value in terms of the sheep to the shepherd is what Jesus is trying to portray to us in this consideration conundrum. He's saying, in effect, that God goes against the grain to look for that which is lost so that he can find it and restore it. So God is working, as it were, in the upside down way. There's a sense in which when he says things like, forgive your enemy, pray for those who persecute you, it's opposite to the normal way. And yet Jesus is saying to his disciples, well, yeah, why wouldn't God do that? And the reality of why wouldn't God do that is because that's what love does. Love goes against all of the rational consideration related to a conundrum and acts seemingly in a peculiar way, risking the 99 to save the one. And God has risked everything, Jesus, to reach out into our lives, our world, and go looking for the one. And brothers and sisters, Billy Graham used to say, if you was the only one, God would have sent Jesus for you. That sense that you're so special, God loves you so much that he sent Jesus to go and look for you because you were lost, caught up in all the distractions. And God went looking for you with his son because that's what love does. Have a great weekend. God bless you. And I'll see you on Monday.